And welcome to Charging Stack, where we're digging into ideas, people, and machines reshaping how we move. Today, we're digitally in Stuttgart with Soul Motors, the team behind the award-winning Pocket Rocket, a minimalist, beautiful, all-electric moped designed for the city. Joining us is Manuel Messmer, CEO and founder of Soul Motors, to talk about the design, the ride, and where small EVs fit into the future of micromobility. Manuel, it's great to have you here. Welcome to Charging Stack.
Hi guys, thank you very much for having me. Looking forward to our talk now.
Yes, absolutely. It's been quite some time, but we finally have you here. And I would like to start with asking you about the origin story and the vision of the company. Where did the Pocket Rocket idea come from? Where did the company idea come from? Design sketch, some personal frustrations, for example, starting, or a bigger vision of the urban mobility for you.
Yeah, first of all, my background is I studied industrial design, product design. So in general, I'm more the creative guy probably. Plus, when I was a teenager, mopeds were quite popular as well in Germany. As I'm coming from the countryside, being 10 kilometers away from the France, the moped with 15 or 16 years was probably more important than having the car. As a teenager, you really want to hang with your friends. So that was really the feeling of freedom. So that is probably kind of the personal background. Of course, later there were some motorcycles I rode, but not in a way for long-term usage, more to commute around in city and urban areas, which was a little annoying because, as we all know, the ICE needs some minutes to get warm and get the full power. So usually the machine was hot, the engine was hot. I arrived already, and that's it. So as I'm living in Stuttgart as well since a long time, Stuttgart was one of the city as well punished with fees by the European Union due to the emissions they caused. Stuttgart is as well a very good example for a city built for cars. So literally, you come everywhere into the city. You can go everywhere with the car. And that's, of course, as well the question of space, a lot of parking garages, yeah, plus the emissions. So that was maybe more like the background. 2018, it was really like the decision to go into this field. I appreciate it from the design perspective in general that a lot of branches are in transformation, and I appreciate transformation, hopefully to a better, more sustainable, economically sustainable, but also environmentally sustainable direction. And looking into these small, motorcycles, vehicles at that time, most of them were kind of retro products, which were just electrified. That's it. And of course, bikes, mopeds with the ICE, they are so beautiful. They are really nice bikes, of course, with all the tank or the for the gasoline, it all has a function, you know. Seeing now electric bikes with these gasoline tanks is really not doesn't make sense in my point of view. So the decision was, okay, let's transform this new technology, probably not the electric motor itself, but the battery technology is probably the key as well for the future. So this new technology allows different concepts, and then the parameters were set to, okay, the weight is distance. So it should be lightweight, should be robust, durable, functional in a way that it was then kind of designed for the urban usage, meaning, okay, battery needs to swappable, or the customer needs to be able to charge it external. So more of these parameters led then to the first prototype shown in 2019, which is a couple of years ago. But at that time it was very good as we got the feedback from all over the world. Nevertheless, people are living in Jakarta, Tokyo, or LA, commuting, going around from A to B in the city between a bicycle and a car. that's where we position the pocket rocket and are now where we are at the moment.
Yeah, it's looking great for you guys. We love the product. I mean, the first time we saw Pocket Rocket, we were really not. I mean, truly. I mean, it looks amazing. I mean, we're gonna slap a lot of pictures in this podcast so our listeners can see the beauty. But I wanted to go back to maybe terminology of your product. So it's called Noped, right? It's not a moped and it's not an e-bike. Can you maybe explain to us what is that, how to define it, and why choose something like that?
So, um, as I said, probably as well, we are in between the bicycle or e-bike, like pedelecs, and the car, of course, a motorcycle. So, moped, as you said, usually in its origin meaning motorized pedals.
Mm-hmm.
So if we look into this term, in this explanation, probably e-bikes, pedelecs would be mopeds. As we do not have mopeds, but from the construction and the appearance maybe look more like a bicycle, we were just thinking, is it a new kind of category we are
Mm-hmm.
working on? Not that we say it is a new category, but in a way it is in now with its appearance and its association, probably a new category. That's why we said, okay, moped, it's not because we don't know, have no pedals. So the
Mm-hmm.
no pedals was a kind of a try to maybe open this category or describe it a bit.
I like it. It's not a moped, so it's no ped, but it's also no pedals. Great play on
Yeah.
words. I like it. Were you behind that idea of the name?
Yeah, yes, yes. I mean, as well, in regards of the design and the construction, it should have been very simple in a way and durable. So the triangle construction is quite an yeah, approved construction, a solid construction. The upper tube, of course, it or a lot of parts. The battery is integrated, all smaller parts as well. So which is good in a city, having all parts integrated, in regards of vandalism or something like that. But as well, then to emotionalize it a little. So of course, the pocket rocket as well is a little hint. It's a little humor, of course, to give that emotion, probably riding really a rocket. So as well, I think probably to emotionalize the product is also something others might lack of,
Mm-hmm.
and the character is missing. So of course it polarizes, and you really can absolutely understand if people don't like it, but it has a character and a statement which, yeah, also is a little fun and is not to be meant so
Absolutely.
serious.
Yes.
Fun
Yes.
and functional, yeah, combining that.
Yes. Yeah, I love companies who don't take themselves too seriously, and I like
Yeah.
how you combine both. And my last question, this first section is, what role do you see for this category, for this light EVs, let's say, in kind of rebalancing European cities? You said Stuttgart really car oriented. Where do they fit into the whole ecosystem, into the whole picture?
Yeah, I think probably better example and really surprising example is Paris. I don't know if when you have been the last time to Paris, but I've been there last month. And really, I know when I was a child visiting Paris for the first time, I really felt lost and it's too noisy and really the air very dirty. But now they really transform the city like Copenhagen did or Amsterdam. There are a lot more examples. So cities are aware of the potential of the quality to regain, by getting the cars out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if the car is switching to electric is the one thing in regards of the emissions, gas-wise or exhaust-wise, but also sound-wise, which are definitely two emissions. but also the space then. So space in the city is limited, and gaining this space back in a way that you try to push the cars out is probably the right way. And people living in the city will appreciate it, that they all win from this transformation. And then it will be at the end okay about these small vehicles, bicycles, cars, pedestrians, like all the mix of different modes. And but I
Hmm.
think having it micro in a way is definitely the key. Otherwise, it will get as well too expensive, or people cannot afford it anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Great example with Paris. I'm seeing some videos about how they transformed. Also, I mean, for example, also, I mean, it's across the pond, but also New York has also transformed drastically with their biking lanes and systems. It's incredible what you can do in a decade with a ride system and a ride solutions like yours.
Yeah.
Philip, if you wanna
Yeah,
take
yeah.
over.
I'd like to ask you just few questions about the actual product. Uh, so you have the two models. It's the Pocket Rocket and Pocket Rocket S. So could you walk us through these two models? So the standard
Mm.
Pocket Rocket and the S model, uh, who each one is built for? So who is the
Yeah.
model for and the standard for?
I mean, honestly, I think it's probably orientated at the official regulation, and the official European law defines the categories of the different bikes, starting from bicycle, e-bike, pedelec, and yeah, scooters, and all the different kind of vehicles. So um, the Pocket Rocket is the, let's say, probably most achievable one in a way that you can drive it with a car driving license. And you can do when you're 15, you can do the small moped license. The max speed, unfortunately, is limited to 45 kilometers per hour. So we still have, okay, cities are reducing max speed as well, more and more. But at the moment, we still have a lot of cities where the max speed is 50 kilometers per hour. Everybody who ever drove a bicycle or two-wheeler knows that, or a car, because you need to take the bike, go in 45, you want to drive 50. It's really, there are really the serious situation, yeah, coming up. So from the safety point of view of the rider, it's absolutely easier to ride with the same speed, 50, 55, in the city. So you don't have cars passing or want to pass you. So that's probably the reason why we had as well the Pocket Rocket S going up to 85 kilometers per hour. So you are able to use small highways, city highways, or even, yeah, swim with the traffic. That's the goal. So conclusion would be from our point of view, and wishing, like the old mopeds, they were allowed to go up to 60 kilometers per hour. That would be easy. So there won't be two models at the end, probably. Um, so you're able to swim with the traffic. But right now, really, and the more experienced the rider is, the more he is really looking for its safety in a way. Okay, I wanna not be the obstacle in the traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Pocket Rocket is actually the light version of the Pocket Rocket S, which is the standard model. So 85 kilometers per hour is pretty enough to blend into any city traffic. So I mean, usually in our city, so it's I think the max speed limit in the city streets is 70. So I think
Mm.
this is perfect. What I'd want you to ask you, since this is a pretty new vehicle, new type of vehicle, what's the biggest misconception your new riders have had about the Pocket Rocket?
Yeah, I mean, one thing is which I understand from one side. So in general, of course, from the design and construction, you're trying to put the weight on the lowest point. That's why the 1,500 cc, the 300 kilogram motors, whatever. Of course, that needs to be somewhere close to the ground. So as I said, so in the upper tube we have our battery, which weighs 16 kilograms. Is a high probably at a higher point, and against the physics in a way, like classic motorcycle construction was done. So this was kind of the proof of concept in the beginning, which had the biggest question mark. Is it drivable? How is it drivable? Really like from the point of view about the weight load. But as we have a hub motor, so no chain, no belt, absolutely silent. This has around 22 kilograms in the rear wheel. So, and on top we have the 16 kilograms of the battery. What I can say, drive it after 2 minutes, you know how to ride it. I mean, every bike has its character. We can even say it's probably more agile to get it through little curves with the weight on top. But yeah, you don't realize it. If you have a longer curve, okay, at some point you feel it as well. But as we are going just 85 kilometers per hour and not 200, it's absolutely drivable. So, and that's funny because yeah, people who ride it the first time are really with this thinking, oh, it's against the physics, it will drive badly. It really does not. We have a perfect really a perfect ergonomy, which was also now improved from really a couple of professional motorcyclists and riders, test riders, also engineers from Italy. So the ergonomy is quite good. And yeah, I mean, in general, we have people who think that a two-wheeler needs to stink and be loud, I
Yeah, and it's a
get the feeling of it, but riding this, it's absolutely no stress at all. It's more like you hear the birds singing and the people talking and music and laughter, and really you're more connected to your surrounding than in you're on your stress yeah, just
Manuel,
cannot feel.
you have to stop. I'm getting too much excited about this. I want to come to Stuttgart and drive right now.
yeah,
Yeah,
Let's
you're
just
welcome.
stop.
yeah. I was also checking the price points, and I have to say it's pretty good. It's pretty good for what the product offers. I mean, it's light. It's only 87 kilograms, so this is awesome. Uh, Marin, would you like to ask a few more questions?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I would like to maybe go back to the design because it's so distinct. It's so I don't know how to you have to explain it. What was like the background? Like what design rules guided you? Let's say how did you make something so? What was like? Was there like an inspiration or behind it?
Yeah, I mean, they were really kind of pragmatic parameters, like, as I said, integration of the components, which is in general against motorcycle design, because usually you have a frame, you put everything on it, and the end you put some plastic panels on top of it. So that's the usual common way how motorcycles are designed. So um, integrating everything. Was one parameter, like the construction itself, as I said, should be. I don't want to, design for from a styling point of view, meaning like having a form, organic form, which might look nice, appealing or not. I mean, it's subjective in a way as well. But where you absolutely know, okay, you need to invest 500K just into the tooling to build the frame, because hydroforming, whatever. So avoiding this, like the simple construction with a simple process to manufacture it, as well with kind of avoiding plastic parts. So the frame is made from aluminum at the moment, Good thing aluminium, which we use now, the new aluminium is already 80 to 85% recycled aluminium.
Mm-hmm.
So I think having no having pure materials and not any, composites was another goal. And it should have been have that character that it's not exchangeable, that it can look like this or like that. There are a lot
Mm-hmm.
of designs around I sketched down, which are really, yeah, it can look like this, but it can also look like this and like this. And I think maybe the goal, designing an archetype, is a way too much, but really having this basic, okay, also the hub motor. So you have so less parts on it, which is pretty good. And showing this also the V shape, which of course there will be bags and additional accessories for it, but showing it empty, where usually the ICE engine sits, was as well another that people say, okay, and still they are saying, is it a pedal? Hey, where's the motor? Like they don't get it all the time.
Mm-hmm. 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 And then kind of follow up question to the design: how to make something so minimal but still safe?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think it's especially about the riding, like the ergonomy, as I said, the wheel stand. They are like as well. We were following these rules about the classic and good ergonomically good balanced parameters. We have an CBS on board, which will be upgraded to an ABS as well next year. That's one thing. Um, we have, like with a hub motor itself, it can recuperate. Not sure if that is a safety feature. We do have a lot on the list, but it was another thing, first about maybe getting some less innovations into the product from the start and more
Yeah.
focusing on, okay, let's have a stable functional base to start then implementing more and more functions. So as the bikes will be connected too, there are as well then the possibilities and ideas about connecting it to the traffic around, and there will be a lot more happening. But yeah, of course, still you're on a two-wheeler, you have bigger enemies in the traffic, so nevertheless you need be aware all the time. Even if you ride a bicycle, all these little motorcycles, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
keep the eyes open. That's why probably, the position on the bike is more like you can look over the cars coming from the right or left. So, and you can be seen and you can see others, and you don't have to, always look up, as you sit pretty straight.
Yeah, just a small reference. My dad is currently in the process of buying a motorcycle, and just looking at him, watching all the reviews, and how many small details are important, sitting positions, I mean, there's so many things to get right, and to get the experience riding the bike good and positive. So it's a big, craftsmanship, and I salute you for that. And I also want to mention, I mean, for our listeners, if they want to look up Soul Motors, a lot of design awards are gonna pop up. We also congratulate you on that. Your design was recognized by many, which is, not a surprise, but yeah, which is amazing. Philip, if you
Yeah,
want to say
this
something.
year we got the CES Innovation Award. That was pretty cool. I mean, it's always good to have this, as you have a kind of a polarizing product, of course, which is good to. It's a way of a door opener for us to establish Soul Motors as a brand, a mobility brand for sustainable small vehicles. And having this, using this is kind of the strategy and the idea behind it.
Hmm.
And I think it's also something, I mean, it's discussed a lot in the car design now about the electric cars, and why They still have in the front this cooling thing, which is not
Yeah.
needed from the combustion engine anymore. And yeah, I think as well, there are so different concepts possible now and more functional, more emotional, but not just, yeah, like following the usual. Yeah. And
Absolutely. I don't know. Have you seen Amazon just launched in Nevada and Las Vegas, their autonomous vehicle Zooks. I think it
mm,
looks amazing. It's so interesting how they approach things, and yeah, I'm happy something like that is gonna scale. Yeah, Philip, if you wanna
Yeah, moving
continue.
forward, I'd like to ask you just a few questions about the everyday usage of your notepad. So, first of all, the battery is completely removable and it's designed for everyday practicality, as I see. So, I'd like to ask because the battery is kind of the center point of the entire design of the vehicle. Why was that so important to have the battery removable? So is it the recharging or is it something else that you can give us?
yeah, I mean, for example, also, I don't have a garage, in the city, so and no electricity or no possibility to charge the bike on the street.
Yeah.
At the moment, so we are below 60 volt, meaning you can, with an adapter, you can go to the AC car chargers. You can charge it there. I did it a couple of times. Okay, you might annoy some electric car drivers while standing there for 4 hours. So 4 hours at the moment with a standard charger it takes to charge up the 2.5 kilowatt hours. But yeah, so that's obvious that the battery, in a way, as well, in regards of, okay, safety, it is the most expensive component in a way. It doesn't like to be outside when it's 0 degree. You can ride around, but if you're done, it happy to go inside where it's a little warmer. And then having the possibility to charge at home or at work, wherever you are, taking the battery out is something pretty crucial as well. Imagine on the caravan and when you have it on the van, for example, traveling around, you can also then get it out. So it will fit onto the common pedelec or e-bike rear trailers, for the cars. Was another thing. And of course, imagine, so we have a bundle now, which we have the second battery for a very attractive price. So you can also then have a second battery and swap it directly. This might be as well interesting, of course, for delivery or in these directions, no, or fleets, when you swap it directly.
Yeah, and following on that, so we can see that there are more and more EVs on the roads and including light EVs like yours. So charging is still, we need to say it, it's still an issue. So how do you see charging evolving for light EVs? Would it be maybe home sockets, workplace charging, maybe some shared infrastructure, something that can get all this trouble out of the way?
Yeah, I think we definitely, there are nice concepts and pilot projects. Where we are involved as well, where we can, so it's a fast charging for these light electric vehicles in general. So it's a very smart charger who then can adapt charging output according to the battery which plugs in. This would mean that the data connection should be a standard, that on all batteries you can transfer the signals and the communication. um, Probably more similar. So it's developed in a standardization committee, which now, for example, wrote the standardization for the UCBC as a charging standard for e-bike chargers. And we all know it from the smartphones as well. I mean, it makes sense to have one charger, I think, or one common plug, or one intelligence that you can all charge it, everything charge it with one thing. So I really hope that city now more and more look as well into the charging infrastructure of these light electric vehicles. We also had a concept done where you can just add it to car chargers, where you have the car infrastructure and you add just some more parking space, give it free for the LEVs, put the energy down below 60 volt would make sense, and then it's easy. Our battery can then charge by 50 minutes from 0 to 100%, as it is designed already to be fast charged.
Yeah, I mean
And
that sounds amazing. I mean that's not too long, and also something you've probably seen it. It's the topic I'd like to raise. BYD's new chargers. I think they released the news few days earlier. They got 400 kilometers of range in 5 minutes. They have a charger that charges 2 kilometers per second. Uh, so it's insane, and they're planning to build. I'm not sure how many exactly, but around 200 charging stations across Germany for their first
Mhm.
project. And I see we're moving towards some kind of a how to say it, shared charger type. So something that they're already doing in US. So a Tesla's supercharger has almost become a standard. More and more companies are adapting their cars to that charging standard. So do you see something like that happening in Europe? And maybe in the next 5 years, will we have something that equals the USB-C charger for smartphones in the near future?
I mean, God bless Europe. We know how to regulate. That's what we do the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah,
That's how
that's
we do the best. Regulate, regulate, regulate. We're gonna do it, I'm sure. We made the Apple switch. We can do this.
yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, probably one thing not to forget about is the battery technology and the cell chemistry itself. I think because this is also, yeah, the more we go into this direction, the more innovation will come on that level too. So probably solid state, about all these different promising technologies. Maybe later as well, the H2, which might then be a kind of a end solution. So I think it's also probably maybe not now the right time to set on one technology in that way or one cell chemistry. I think, it would be so easy, and I know a lot of restaurants, beer gardens in Germany, they just put a common plug socket, they open it for their guests, and it's really 1 kilowatt hour is 30 cents, whatever. That's nothing. And I think even there it should be more more unconventional, and just make it common that we have more common plugs in the streets. I think as well, if you need to charge your phone, if you're in the street, these are all things because that is what city is asking, how to make the city attractive again, that people come into the city, because a lot of people order online and whatever. I avoid to go in the city because it's just traffic jam and a lot of people. But making then these quality points, okay, I can charge there. The supermarkets, the shops, I think they can really do or think about doing something like this as well. And especially in the cities where cars will get less and less, it's not probably mandatory to have these car chargers everywhere in the city. If you look into Amsterdam, yeah, they have the big parking garages around the city connected with the public transport and some sharing options. That's easy way. So you can have more space, you can build huge PV, farms and have the charging infrastructure for the cars there. In the city, you have just some 230-volt common socket somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And then we briefly mentioned regulation. If you had a, this is like a fictional question. If you had like a magic wand, I mean, one regulation for micromobility you would like to change right now in Germany, or I don't know how. Yes, let's say in Germany.
Yeah, I think it's really the max speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the max speed to 60 or 59, so you cannot go on highways, something like this. Or to have like Spain and France, or Spain and Italy, but Spain for sure. They have so with the car driving license, you are allowed to drive the up to 125 cc, like the L3E. That's also an option.
Hmm.
Maybe a little too fast or too risky. So two ways, but it's also the question, why do we have it in Germany not? But the Spanish, if you're doing the Spanish driving license, I don't know
Yeah.
about your country, what you're allowed to drive. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we, as I said, we love to regulate and we love to complicate. But I hope this will, because yeah, so as I mean, I can only say that your products look too good to go only 45.
Yeah.
By regulation, you know what I mean? And yeah, I just wanted to ask, do you think cities are moving fast enough to support this kind of layer of mobility? Maybe we can talk Germany. How is the infrastructure following well development of the products? Maybe yours and your competitors.
Yeah, I mean, slowly they are progressing, but I think still, yeah, too slow, of course. And it's also probably, I mean, I'm certain that the cities will behave and act independent from the politics, the national politics, because the cities have other problems and tasks to solve. And imagine still, what, 40,000 people are dying due to traffic emissions per year in the European Union. That's really something, okay, you can avoid, and also the sound and the stress accused by it. So I think the people and cities will move on. But as I said, I mean, Paris goes pretty faster. I think everybody realizes it's a huge winning for the quality. Of course, it's also hard when you live there. You used to use your car, you have kids, you need to do the groceries. I mean, there are then as well for the people an acceptance. You need to take the people with in a way, and there will be discussions, and not everybody will be amused, of course. Um, but if you have a smart planning of the whole mobility system in the city and around the city, I think, yeah, there's nothing more achievable in a way. And if you look into
Hmm.
the energy and the energy production, yeah, the sun is there every day, the wind is there, okay,
Hmm.
in winter less, but I think yeah, it's really in a way a dream to be autark and having producing free energy maybe at some day, and so it's social and everybody can use it if you have money or no money, and we can with the energy we can produce the H2, for example, to store all the energy for winter times or bad weather conditions. And we are the technology is so ready for it. I think in Germany some thinking and yeah, the awareness is not there really sometimes.
Hmm.
As you look into the ICE European Union, like to forbid the cars by 2035.
Yeah,
Germany is, from my knowing, the only one now wanna cut this again and make it open for all technologies like e-fuels and all these fairy tales. Then why not go in the way the world goes? And I think the more the less and less they will look into what the German automobility industry is doing.
absolutely. We are also, you mentioned solar energy. We are all for solar. On this channel, we had a few people presenting their products regarding solar energy, and it's crazy. Like when you hear from them how much solar panels have evolved in the past 10 years, and how much energy can you actually produce nowadays, and how the whole global warming is happening, where we are getting more sun exposure. So this is only going to get better and better by time. So the huge utilization is here for us, and we just need to pick on something that's, Mother Nature is giving to us, which is
Yep.
great. Just
Yeah,
one short question. One short question. What is there like a global city you'd love to see? Maybe a pocket rocket outside Germany. Maybe you said Paris. Maybe something different.
Well, yeah, LA, of course.
Okay.
But there
Okay.
might also, I also would like, yeah, Lagos, Nigeria,
Oh, interesting.
also Africa. There would be some nice cities driving around. Yeah, as I'm quite really embracing diversity and culture, I think I want to drive it in every city. No, but
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
that's the
Wish you.
correct answer.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so just to talk a bit about the future, or what do you see as the future of the company beyond the Pocket Rocket? What's next for you guys? So are there gonna be new models, new categories, or you're gonna double down on the Pocket Rocket?
Yeah, no, we definitely have a ambitious roadmap technically, and as I said, so innovations we kept out so far are going now more and more into yeah, development. Um, I mean, uh, our probably main goal will be first to, yeah, of course, diversify the both models more, like the faster, a bit faster, the slower, or a bit more probably practical in regards of, yeah, for delivery services and fleets sharing, maybe as a key point. Yeah, as well, like extending our battery usage as well. So there will be as well a solar charging options. It's currently in the development. So closing the gap where the kind of energy comes from is here the goal, and it will close as well. Yeah, kind of the brand and the brand's name. Having then an autark system in a way. And yeah, I think establishing some models for micromobility is the long-term goal. If you think about taxi rickshaws and all the things around two-wheel, three-wheel, four-wheel, trailers, I mean, it's now designed as a platform like the drivetrain, which is now, scalable and attachable to other variations and adjustable. That's as well as the batteries, which are as well able to be charged up to three parallel or three in series. So yeah, there will be definitely more things coming up soon.
Wow,
So
that
exciting.
yeah, it sounds like an exciting time for you guys. I mean, this decade is your decade, it seems. So another question,
Fingers crossed.
another question, something brand wise. So how do you want people to think about Soul Motors in 5 years' time? So, would you want to see them as some kind of a household name for light TVs, for mopeds, or do you have something else in mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think what really is as well, we are not building two-wheelers as well with combustion engine, for example. So the our mission is quite serious, to offer the people, a well thought products, robust products, repairable products, recyclable products. So as well, we are looking, in the whole lifetime of a product, opening the supply chains, thinking about how to reuse it, how to refurbish, building this circularity on the different levels. And I think be known as a reliable and serious mobility provider, if it's from a sharing, from an abo, or just from a professional usage, that might differ. But I think also you know this is connected to a changement of a regulation, but technology wise, there's a lot, as I said, possible from now. For example, if you have a small license, you get on the bike or in the car, you get 10 PS. If you have a bigger license, you get 50 PS. For example, that's technically no, absolutely no problem. But the regulation says no, it needs to be then in that category and just in that category. If it has then more, then it changes the category. So this is something I hope as well, we kind of break these walls all together, all the other manufacturers, because there are the regulations way too strict in regards of that.
Understood. So I see you're pretty serious about this mission. I mean, your mission is pretty serious. You're something
It's fun but serious.
you're kind of inside the triangle where you have a product company, a design studio, and a mobility ecosystem, micromobility ecosystem. So you're somehow in the middle of these three, as I see.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted us to continue. I mean, we kind of exhausted all our questions, Manuel. For the end, we have a set of lightning round questions, which you can answer in a word or two, sentence or two. And yeah, I'm gonna start. We have four of them. I'm gonna start with the first one. In your opinion, most underrated micromobility trend right now?
Underrated.
Underrated.
Um,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, very good question. I mean, it's probably more a behavior or a thinking which is a little outdated, I mean, it's all status. Mobility is about status. It grows in the pedelec field as well, pretty much, that people are riding bikes for 12, 15K, which is probably absolutely not our goal. So it's probably the opposite side. You have a minimum of mobility at the end,
Hmm.
underrated, I think probably overrated. For example, we are not thinking that our product is the solution for everybody living in a city, So I appreciate as well the scooters, the sharing scooters, whatever, like the bicycles, the pedestrians. So different people, different needs. Also then the cargo bikes for families. And the thinking that one product would solve all cities' problem is probably the overrated
Hmm.
thinking in micromobility and the unicorn thinking in all that ways around.
I agree, and we had similar answers from other people in micromobility. So I can t-
Another
I can
question.
t- I can tell you that you kind of think the same.
I'd like to ask another question. It's a bit similar to this one. Uh, in your opinion, what's the most overhyped idea in urban transport, in urban mobility? Something that gets
Yeah,
constructed.
I think autonomous driving
Okay.
probably.
Okay, that's a hot take.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
hot
Yeah,
take.
yeah. Yeah, it may make sense in different applications, or of course outside of the city completely different. If you're on the highway, whatever, if you have some probably deliver smaller vehicles, whatever, or a bus on a company campus, whatever. But yeah, I think it would mean, I think, from the technology or from the restrictions, that all needs to be very, you cannot pass the street here as a pedestrian, because then the autonomous vehicles will go crazy, or then they are connected with them. I don't know if it's worth it, all the effort to put into this technology. I think we have the basic technologies for a lot of in the logistics, for example, where you have automated system makes sense in the warehousing, all these applications. Maybe then on the highway, if you can just say, okay, drive me to Berlin, but in the city, I think still also the question of the responsibility, because at the end, the the car brand wouldn't take the responsibility, of course, to the injuries which might happen. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I have to completely agree with you on this one. It may be a hot take, but in my opinion, I think autonomous driving is not for the city, but I'd like to see it with trucks. I'd like to
Mm,
see cargo. So I'd like to see autonomous truck doing a route 2-3 times a day, maybe 300 kilometers, one charge, let's say. Uh, I'd like to see that much more than robot taxi, for example,
mm,
because
yeah.
you said we actually checked their website. It's called the Tesla Debts. It compiles a list of all the deaths that occurred that were caused by Tesla's full self-driving mode, and it's pretty ominous. It's kind of hard to look at it and think. Okay, so 2 people died because the car glitched. Something happened, and the company won't take the responsibility. I mean, this is not a jab at Tesla, but at the autonomous companies in general. So I really have to
Mm,
be 100% here.
yeah.
I have to say, I'm a big AV nerd. I love AVs, and I can't wait for AV taxis. I think they're totally cool. Whatever you guys are saying, I agree. But I would I like how they look, how they drive, and yeah. I mean, I have this lightning round question, but I think we can skip because we kind of like covered it. I was about to ask you a city you dream of riding the pocket rocket in, but we kind of mentioned that. Maybe the last one. One design feature you're dying to experiment with next on your products.
What we did so far was the wheelie, automated wheelie,
Oh,
which
wow.
is also another thing, technologically absolutely no problem with the gyroscope, and keeping then the wheelie ongoing. This is something we do by fun at the end, because we can never release such a feature. But it's another example how what's possible already technology wise, and where sometimes as well hurdles are or obstacles are. And yeah, probably it's also about thinking, is it really worth to do it? I think that's probably a couple of times we should ask ourselves the questions, like we had now in the discussion as well with these manned drones, or flying taxis. Of course, it's nice, it's fantastic what you can do with the technology and all automated. On the opposite side is, okay, in a way, which problem is it solving? What's the application, the use cases then for it? Yeah, where the air gets thinner in a way. But yeah, I think technology embracing and pushing it is also cool, with a clear mind and a decision. It's
Yes.
absolutely like the wheelie, and still you drive it, and it's like, it takes the weight and it can hold the angles, and you can set the angles, how high you want to go. It's cool, and I think there will be more features then, and probably more functional features coming up as well.
Please do
I
the
would love to.
wheelie.
I would love to see I would love to see the face of like a regulator when if you would come up to them and be like, "How do you regulate this wheelie feature that we just added?" in their face. Well, Manuel, we had a great conversation with you. Thank you so much, and the whole Soul Motors team for giving us a chance to have a closer look at the Pocket Rocket and thinking behind it. We wish you all the luck in conquering markets, because your products prove that urban mobility can be minimal, stylish, and genuinely practical. We'll be back soon with more innovators reshaping urban transport. Until then, keep it light, keep it electric, and keep it charging stack. Thank you, Manuel, and we would love to host you again in the future. Whenever you have something new, we are down for the round two. Thank you once more.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, guys. Have a good
Thank you.
day.
Thank you.
All the
Bis bald.
best. Bye
Thank you.
bye. Bis bald.